How to get maximum results at the gym with minimum input. I know that sounds counterintuitive. I know everyone says you gotta train hard to get big, but in reality, there is a balance, right? You can get a lot of results from doing not that much work, and I'm gonna tell you how to do that today. So without further ado, let's do it. Tip number one is gonna be efficiency at the gym in terms of your sets and your reps. A lot of people have this concept, and possibly from old school bodybuilding videos, that in order to get results, you need to smash your body for 2 to 3 hours from a variety of angles. And while there's some merit to that, if you do that, you will get results. You can really dial that back. You don't need to be at the gym more than about 35 to 45 minutes. How can you do this? A few ways. Number one, you can dial down your rest times. You don't need to be sitting around for 2 to 3 minutes in between each set. Wait until your breathing recovers and you feel strong again, then you're ready to go. Secondly, in between your warm-up sets and your working sets, remove that rest time. In a warm-up set, you're not going to be tired afterwards. You can go straight to your first working set. Just like that, I'll save you 15 minutes off your workout. Try and keep the socializing at the gym to a minimum. While it's good to have friends, it can add time. So if time is an issue for you, keep the talking to a minimum, put those headphones in, you're here to work. Going in with a plan is super essential as well. If you know what you're going to do, exercise by exercise, you can rattle through it really, really quick. There have been many, many times where I've seen someone sat on a bench press. I've done my entire workout in 35 minutes and I'm gone, and they're on their third set of bench press. So if you're clinical, you know which things you're going to do and also which things you're going to do if those things are taken. So let's say if you want to do lat pull down, it's in your program. You look over, there's some guy on a lat pull down machine. You know you're going to swap that out with pull-ups. You go straight to pull-ups. Cutting down on decision time and waiting time for machines is huge. So follow those tips and you'll dial down your actual workout time to around 35 to 45 minutes. Now, tip number two, and this follows on from the first one, in order to get the most out of those 35 to 45 minutes and replicate as much of that 2 to 3 hours of body destruction as the bodybuilders do, let's talk about effort a little bit. So the thing with the gym is we put in effort, we stimulate our muscles, the muscles break down, they grow back stronger. It's a very rudimental, not particularly scientific description of how it works, but you get the picture, right? We're going to the gym, we're inflicting damage on our muscles, they grow back stronger. In terms of inflicting this damage and stimulating the muscles, there are a large variety of ways we can do this. The way the old school bodybuilders would always recommend it is maximum volume, maximum weight, maximum everything. Nowadays, because of science, we know we don't necessarily need as much volume. What we need to do is get the most out of each set we do. That's why I'll always prescribe one warm-up set, a feeler set to make sure you're not going to get injured, and then 2 to 3 working sets where we're pushing very, very close to failure. And for each exercise, that's enough. Typically, a workout will consist of 3, 4, 5 exercises. If you follow this pattern, one warm-up set, 2 to 3 working sets, you will get plenty out of your workouts. Plenty. More than enough muscle damage to stimulate growth. And that's what we're here for, right? We're here to get in, stimulate growth, and leave. Because of this, the actual effort we put in on each set is going to be quite high. But that's okay because you're not going to be doing heaps and heaps of sets. If I was to ask you to do 30 sets, and I was to say push to failure on every set, that's unrealistic. Unless you're on PEDs, unless you've got some super high testosterone, you're going to struggle there. But realistically, let's say we're doing 4 exercises and I asked you to push to failure on the last 2 working sets of each. It's only 8 sets you're taking to failure. It's not that many, but it's going to feel like enough, and it's going to be enough to stimulate growth. That's the most efficient way I've found to work out. The third piece of the puzzle when it comes to maximizing results with minimum effort actually takes place outside the gym. 2 ways. Number one, your diet. I always say your diet is 80%, your training is 20%. So you can do the 3 to 4 days a week of working out, pushing yourself to failure on about 8 to 10 sets, and then if you fuel your body the rest of the time with high protein, slight calorie surplus, you're gonna build muscle. It's that simple. The diet will carry the weight of the workouts. Get your diet on point, your workout's gonna count for a lot more. Similar to this is sleep. People need rest, right? You need rest in order for muscles to grow. I once read somewhere that growth hormone is released when we're asleep. I don't know how true that is. There was a lot of mumbo jumbo science back in the day. But my point stands. Muscle repair takes place while you're asleep. So you need to get at least 8 hours of sleep every single night to make sure you're getting the most muscle growth from your sessions. In terms of a program breakdown and training frequency, you don't need to be in the gym 5, 6, 7 days a week. 3 to 4 days a week is perfect. That gives you enough time to rest. It also gives you enough time to hit every body part equally. The best training split to make sure you're doing this is going to be a push-pull-leg split. If you want to train more, I train more. I do the bro split. But if we're all about maximizing the results for minimum time in the gym, push-pull legs or upper-lower is going to do really, really well. That way you can tick off multiple body parts a day, pushing to failure for a couple of sets and stimulating the growth that you want. Let's do a little recap so you can apply this right now and start getting better results for less effort. Few things. When you're at the gym, don't spend heaps of time there you don't need to. Cut down on things like rest times, warm-up sets, talking to people at the gym. You can bring that gym time down to about 45 minutes or half an hour. In terms of exercises, sets and reps, we only need to do 2 to 3 working sets of a few different exercises, 4, and that will tick the box. But in those working sets, we're going to push to failure. We're going to take ourselves quite extreme effort-wise. Outside the gym, we're going to have a well-rounded diet, prioritizing protein and tracking your calories. We're also gonna make sure we get at least 8 hours of sleep. When it comes to training frequency, we're gonna train 3 to 4 times a week. On those 3 to 4 days, we're gonna do a split that allows us to hit as many body parts as possible. I recommend push-pull legs or upper-lower. And it's as simple as that. Maximum results, minimum effort. If you want more videos like this, subscribe. I make one every single day. I'll see you in the next one.